Rosy here with a story and an invitation. And this story is about a day that I had, which I kind of look back on as like a really good money lesson day. It was a really good day for me. And if I think back in terms of my relationship to money, and I don't know, even now, I guess there's a part of me that just kind of wishes that I could just give and didn't have to worry about money. Like there's something that seems so weird that you give a service to make money over here so that you can get your needs met, like this strange indirect way of kind of sustaining ourselves. Like I look forward to the day when as a society we all just bring our gifts to the table and all of our gifts kind of come together in this wonderful synarchy and it sustains us, right? So I might have a gift to support someone, and that person might have a gift to garden, and another person has a gift to cook, and another one has a gift to build a house, and then, man, wouldn't that be nice? So I help people who are feeling down or need some inspiration, and then I get fed and a shelter. Like that would be so great if there didn't have to be kind of money involved in that. But of course we live in this world, and there are some good things too. Like definitely for someone like me who kind of grew up not necessarily valuing myself in some ways, it's been really good for me to earn money and to feel like there is an exchange happening. I'm giving energy and I'm receiving energy. There's sort of this back and forth, this mutuality taking place. So I don't want to like poo-poo money altogether because I think it's fun and it's a great thing. And there's another part of me that's like, oh God, I wish we could all just sustain ourselves in much more simple, direct ways. Okay, anyway, that was a little bit of an aside, but I wanted to say it just as like just like a frame for this day that I had, which I thought was so interesting. Okay, so the first thing that happened was I had a client who I totally love and is so committed to the work we're doing together, and she actually always kind of insisted on paying me my full fee. She helps people herself, and she has a full fee herself, and she really wanted to value me and all that kind of stuff. But she went through a little bit difficult rough patch in her life, in her budget, and it just felt like the most right thing to really encourage her to ask for me to slide my scale down. And even though so much of the business training that I've received, this is another message that's out there, is like, somebody really wants a service, then they're going to find a way to get that money. And, you don't serve people if you slide down too much, because there's something really good that comes of really encouraging people to value themselves enough to get the funds and the resources and to the reach out and get the help that they need in order to pay you. It's sort of like an investment in them. And I see that. I think there's some validity to that. But I felt in this case, I'd be serving her even more by, giving her a break and not equating necessarily that she's asking for a discount with a sign that she's a failure or she's not committed or she's not valuing me in some way. It just felt really right. And I like that feeling of kind of going against my training and just trusting myself. And so on the same day, I had another session with a client who just didn't show up. And there had been a pattern with this particular person of them not necessarily getting back to me or, showing me the kind of feeling that would give me a sense that they really kind of value and understand that when I make an appointment with them, this is my time and I could be giving that time to somebody else. And I don't have that much time to see clients because I still have a young daughter. And so anyway, this man didn't show up, and I actually charged him my cancellation fee, which for me was a really big deal because I have done everything in my power to avoid having to do that in the past. So it was a really interesting juxtaposition of two things happening in one day. With one person, I'm kind of saying, you know what? Don't pay me so much. Pay me less. Like I really want you to pay me less. And someone's saying, you know what? I think we need to have you pay for this session even though you didn't show up, and you didn't get the service, because that would kind of restore the balance between us, and it would be a sign of my respecting myself and valuing myself in the world and my time and my energy. And then the same day, this was like this incredible day, I had been working with someone, and our work culminated in this very beautiful ritual. And the ritual itself was like, many hours out in nature. It was a very beautiful event. And I just didn't feel comfortable charging money for that ritual. For some, I don't know, it just felt like sacred time, and I just didn't want money to get involved. But I did tell her she was free to give me a donation if she felt called to do that, but it wasn't necessary. And she decided to give me the most generous donation. I wasn't expecting anything, and she gave me this incredibly generous donation. And I don't know, there was something about that day that left me feeling so empowered and relaxed and trusting about the whole money thing, and also in my integrity. And I think it's just good for me to know that I can set a limit if I need to. If I know I can do that, then I can be generous when I want to. And it's also so wonderful to know that when we're generous with others, people really do want to be generous with ourselves. They want to be generous back towards us. So I don't know, I just felt like extending this invitation to you to just experiment with these different edges. The edge of setting limits, of demanding that you're valued, of respecting yourself, and also being generous when you feel like it. And just notice the kind of feedback you get from the universe and how much you start to trust yourself, that you're not really making your decisions based on some schemata or some template about charging or fee structures or some rules about, ethics, or I don't know, rules about what's okay and what's not okay, but you're following some kind of an inner integrity feeling that's much deeper than all that stuff. And see if you can enjoy the flexibility that comes out of that. And perhaps like me, you'll find that the universe is very generous with you when you're generous both with yourself and with others.